Johnny, come this way, please.
Coming. I've never been more excited for anything in my entire life.
Yes, sir.
I'm here for the body scrub. Ah!
Did you hear that?
Oh!
Los Angeles is a massive metropolis cradled by the San Gabriel Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. It touts one of the world's largest economies and covers over 500 square miles. The inhabitants? Diverse. The amount of languages? Over 200. But the most important fact, it's home to yours truly. Even if you've never stepped foot onto the streets of LA, it's become the backdrop of our imaginations thanks to the entertainment industry. But this town is more than just celebrities, palm trees, and the sun. To really understand what's going down in this town, you have to go up.
Hewlett 10-3, we have a clear to take up.
Woohoo! Yeah! The view of LA you don't normally get. It's incredible because I think a lot of people, especially people who aren't from California, they don't understand how expansive LA is.
Yeah, it's quite confusing when people arrive first, isn't it? But when they get up in the air, that's almost certainly one of the things that we notice, and they can start mapping things out.
Pilot Peter Lowry and his wife Claudia own Group 3 Aviation, which has been flying over the City of Angels for over 20 years, watching this town change all along the way.
There's our office, hey! All right. And here is an absolute LA icon over here, the Hollywood sign. Is that Griffith Park?
Griffith Park. We got the whole Griffith Park here, right in the middle of the city.
There's Dodger Stadium right there.
There it is.
I mean, you can see downtown LA. You could almost argue that downtown LA, where all the skyscrapers are, isn't even the main focal point of Los Angeles.
It's true, isn't it? You start realizing that there's multiples. You know, I love living in a city where you've got so much resources around us. You know, we've got beautiful coastline and the big bay around Santa Monica, and then we have all our mountains, you know, dividing us.
I mean, you don't notice it when you're at ground level, but from up here, you look down, you don't see one open green patch of land.
The population size is growing hugely.
Have you seen the highway system expand since you've been here?
Yes, the rush hour, if you want to use that term, doesn't seem to apply anymore here.
It's always rush hour.
It's rush hour all the time. Like, look down here.
Look at that. That's gridlock. Listen, it's 10:30 in the morning. People, don't you have somewhere to be?
It's this reason why everyone is so dependent upon cars, a vehicle that has transformed from a way of getting around into an entire culture. And if someone knows a thing or two about cars, it's Machete himself, Mr. Danny Trejo.
Nobody knows Machete.
With hundreds, maybe thousands of on-screen kills, this LA native is actually one of the kindest guys you'll ever meet.
I love you.
And one hell of a gearhead.
You are, besides being an amazing actor, a car enthusiast, correct?
Absolutely, but you know, most people will buy them, you know, after they're all done.
Yeah.
You know, we get them and restore them.
Where do you think that the obsession with cars began in LA? I mean, obviously the weather has a lot to do with it.
I really think one of the big things was the fact that you'd get an old car, you couldn't afford a new car, so you'd get an old car and fix it up and try to make it look good.
How long ago did you get into classic cars?
Oh God, my first car was a 1950 Buick.
So within your collection, I mean, do you have a personal favorite, or is it like kids, you can't play favorites, you gotta love them all?
You gotta love them all. But the 65 Buick Riviera, I think, is probably one of the rarest cars that I have. I don't consider it a hobby, this is what I do. Like, I can tell you everything about this car.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a 1942 Chevy Stylemaster. The trick to this is that you can't open the trunk unless you do this.
Oh, look at that, man.
So
How
what
tricky.
we did was we just put a different little sound system.
So this didn't come with the original car,
No.
you're saying?
And where does Machete get his cars worked on? Don't look in Beverly Hills, it's Chubby's Automotive located deep in the valley.
So this is the shop, huh?
This is it.
I've heard a lot about this place, man. It's where magic happens.
This is my 49 Chevy pickup truck, and we're redoing the whole thing.
We're putting in a mock-up engine in there, getting some stuff lined up. Want to see if you can get in there and handle that.
When I was 10, 11 years old, we would literally ride the streetcar anywhere.
The trolley.
Yeah, we had them all over, right? And when the big tire companies moved in, they started buying up all the tracks. So they basically turned LA into a car city.
I don't want you to break your nails, Chubby. I got this.
Whoa!
Muy fuerte!
Whoa, look at that!
Muy fuerte!
Look out!
Well, look at that, guys.
It's gonna hurt. There you go, put it down.
Look at this guy.
My back!
But car culture is just a small part of a much larger community that is Los Angeles. To native and longtime Angelinos, this city is simply home.
One of the biggest things about LA is that even though it's like a big city, it's like you have a small town atmosphere. So LA is familia.
It all comes back to this sense of community. Everyone's got each other's back here.
Yeah.
If you guys really want to see LA, let's walk out there and see Danny's 56.
Woo! This is all the working parts of the beautiful woman. You know what I mean? Now, let's check out the insides, okay?
Thought you'd never ask. Hey, Danny, I'm starving. You know any good places to eat around here? Trejo's Tacos or bust?
This berry is about to embark on one hell of a journey. Once it's picked and packed, it'll make its way to the Santa Monica Farmers Market, a staple of the LA food scene.
Oh my God.
Los Angeles is one of the only areas in the country with access to fresh produce grown locally year-round. Items here are unique, delicious, and carefully curated. But if you really want to get a sense of how significant this market is to the community, you'll have to talk to its original manager, Laura Avery, aka my mom.
I started as a manager of this market when you were 6 weeks old. And I have a picture of me holding you and your big sister Avery by the hand in 1982.
What are those?
Those are the biggest carrots I've ever seen.
What makes the Santa Monica Farmers Market unique from other farmers markets?
If you look around the market, we don't have crafts, we don't do a lot of prepared food. Our focus is constantly on getting the farmers maximum access to as many customers as possible and as many programs as possible to help them promote what they sell.
Maybe you could help us. Is it the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, or the older the berry, the sweeter the juice?
I believe sometimes the darker is the sweeter.
The Tamai family farm has been in business for almost 100 years, and they, like many other California farmers, rely on the Santa Monica Farmers Market to sell their produce.
Am I heading out to work?
Yeah, we're gonna go right to the strawberry field, right up ahead.
What goes into the preparation for these farmers?
They're constantly dealing with weather. It's either the drought or the rain.
Okay, John, you want to pick it the ripest you can.
Yep.
Like this one.
Yep. Got it. Gloria, aren't you amazed? Look how many berries I've already picked.
Oh my God.
I've only eaten about half as many as I've picked.
The average one-way trip of a farmer to get down to LA from the farm is about 175 miles. So these farmers are getting up at 2 in the morning, driving down, setting up their stands, and they're bringing in produce that they basically picked yesterday.
All right, how's my form? Good? Do I look like I know what I'm doing? All right.
So when it gets here, it hasn't been stored, it hasn't been refrigerated, it hasn't been treated with any kind of preservatives. It's picked off the tree or the vine and it's ready to eat. Take a bite.
We're allowed to do this. We got clearance to.
I call it quality control. Yes, part of my job.
New trends in food, I feel like a lot of them come out and originate in LA.
One of the things that I do remember is the slow food movement that started in Santa Monica. They named it slow food because everyone was used to fast food. They said, well, we need to slow down and look at what we're eating. I think that really gave a boost to the Los Angeles area and to the farmers markets.
I think we're attracting the very best of the chefs who are able to now really let their creativity run wild, and they can have access to pretty much anything they want. It's kind of like a big chef's playground down here. Yeah.
And one of those chefs who loves to play is Nancy Silverton, a culinary legend who has embraced and pioneered the slow food movement here in California.
The legend of Nancy used to come here with $3,000 in cash in a pickup truck, buy the farmers at a house and home, and you would then use all that produce to make a fabulous dish and a fabulous menu at one of your restaurants. Yes. Is that true?
It is true. I think that I, recognized very early on in my career the importance of great produce in being the inspiration for creating a dish.
Listen, when Nancy hands you lemons, you make a, what dish are you making?
We are going to be making a lemon posset.
When Nancy hands you a lemon, you make a lemon posset? So then, does the produce drive the menu, or does the menu drive what produce you're looking for?
No, the produce always comes first.
Always.
Ready to get to work? Do you remember the name of the dessert?
It's a lemon
Posset.
posset.
It's lemon, cream, and sugar, strawberries, and balsamic. 5 ingredients. When you have so few ingredients, you can't hide behind flavorless food or a gimmick or a complicated technique. It better taste good, right?
The ingredients are the star.
That's all we have. Some people used to think of us in California as sort of the lazy cooks because there's so little that we have to do because we're so spoiled by the produce that we have. And it's not just that we have it for one season, but we have it all year round.
I think a lot of people just take for granted the amount of steps and the process and the preparation that goes into bringing food from the farm to the table. Yum. We nailed it.
If Hollywood's the soul of Los Angeles, some might say Koreatown is the heart. It's a 24-hour menagerie of spas, karaoke bars, toy stores, and everything in between. But to take on these streets tonight, I'm starting with the essentials: Korean barbecue.
Tell me a little bit about Koreatown.
Koreatown came into being in the early 1900s. It was the Koreans who were able to move into this space and really brought economic boom. LA, in essence, has served as probably the largest Korean population outside of Korea.
Once a literal war zone during the LA riots, this community has banded together to rebuild and become a destination for both visitors and Angelenos. And people like Haepin Im are continuously working on making this neighborhood into a world-class cultural hub.
The fact that our community did not give up. Many chose to stay and commit to rebuilding. And since then, the Korean community's lifestyle and food, music, culture has had a platform in which we could share with the rest of the world. So actually in Korean culture, there's something called 1차, 2차, 3차, 4차.
1차, 2차, 3차, 4차.
Yeah, it's very good.
And that means we're about to have the night of our lives.
That's right, that's right.
As the sun sets over LA, Koreatown is just waking up.
Boys, banana!
And fellow troublemakers like Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz from Vanderpump Rules are keeping me company for this night out.
Here's the Koreatown.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Our first stop, the Aroma Golf Range, which is one of the only multi-story driving ranges in the city.
You know, obviously Koreatown is famous for these full body scrubs that they do at a spa. If you beat us,
okay,
we will pay for your scrub tonight.
We'll see if the Toms can give me a run for my money. But one thing's for sure, these guys know LA nightlife with the opening of their new bar, Tom Tom.
You know, the funny thing is Schwartz and I ended up meeting on Craigslist. All of a sudden, here we are, fast forward later, we opened up our bar together. It was a match made in heaven. I couldn't say no. We were both Toms.
Whoa! What is it about Koreatown that's like unique?
You have really cool clubs, you got great food, and the place never stops. So you get that New York vibe.
Woo! I'm done. All right, boys, I win. Let's go. This body ain't gonna scrub itself.
Los Angeles has some of the best Korean spas in the country, and tonight, Crystal Spa is the perfect pregame.
Hey, Byung!
Hey, the Toms!
We owe him a scrub on us.
So I'm getting a scrub. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna chill out and hang out.
Chill, yeah. This is a special royal treatment for you.
Yeah, I'll trust you. I don't trust these two, but you got an honest face, my friend.
This is paradise.
Let's go. Johnny, come this way, please.
Coming. I've never been more excited for anything in my entire life.
I smell balance. Can you smell balance?
That's the nipple. That's a very sensitive part of the body.
Goodbye inhibitions. Hello, salt.
Ah!
Did you hear that?
Ah!
Poor Johnny.
Do you know that there's worlds out there completely made of diamonds?
It's like a car wash, huh? Sham wowing me.
Do you know what the rarest element in the entire universe is?
An entire universe?
Liquid water.
I feel like a newborn baby. I tell you what, you change my diaper, and I mean, we're just gonna complete this whole process.
Hey, Johnny, where you at, man? Let's get some drinks.
Oh, man.
Hey, big guy, how you doing over there?
Look at you all rosy.
Next time I hear you're getting the scrub, I know what it is. Although I do feel smooth, feel that.
Ooh, dude, you do.
Right?
Let's go. You look good, Johnny.
Now that I'm as smooth as a baby's butt, it's time for a nightcap. And bringing the masses to K-Town is the ultimate Lux venue.
We're on the list. How are you, Brian?
Welcome to Mama Lion.
So the building was built in 1926. This was actually the first Korean restaurant/nightclub in the U.S. and it was called Mama Lion.
This building has stood the test of time and is proving to be the epicenter of cultural integration.
Part of the concept here was bridge that gap between the non-locals and the non-Koreans that come to Koreatown and create an environment for people to get to know each other and feel comfortable.
What do you envision for like the future of Koreatown?
I see it becoming the melting pot of Los Angeles.
I think it's already there.
I've been coming to Koreatown in the 10 years we've been here. There's so many new spots, so many new bars, so many new restaurants. Every time I come, I fall in love a little more.
Kobe.
Kobe. That's the thing about Koreatown. Every time I come here, I leave happy.
Yes.
What a hell of a night.
If there's one thing that's synonymous with LA, it's show business. If you're visiting the City of Angels and want a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite TV shows and movies are made, the gold standard in tours is Universal Studios Hollywood. This attraction draws thousands of guests annually. So I've come to hijack a few unsuspecting visitors to the park and become their tour guide.
How do I become a tour guide?
Well, normally you would start on our tram tour, but we're going to leapfrog right over that and take you right to the top, our VIP tour.
Chariot has arrived.
After you.
Where we're sitting now, this is the vantage point that the person on tour is going to have, right?
That's right, not a bad seat in the house. This is the biggest and busiest movie studio in Hollywood.
Since 1914, Universal Studios has been an active movie lot, and today it's the only studio which doubles as a theme park.
Is it difficult sometimes to balance active movies that are being shot with people just touring around?
And balance is a good word for it. There are times you have to detour around filming. You are responsible for the safety and the entertainment of the guests that will be using these seats.
I don't know, safety, we might have to...
we'll work on it.
You might have to help me with that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who is ready to learn about the history of Universal Studios Hollywood? Because if you are, you've come to the wrong place.
Now we're off and running. Our first stop, the set of NBC's hit comedy, Superstore.
You can touch and play with anything you want.
No,
toys,
it's
groceries.
Johnny, it's the opposite.
What's the fun of that? Come on, guys, everyone link hands. Welcome to the Superstore. Now, guys, this actually is not real ice. It's, in fact, bubble wrap. We are in the booze section. We're making cocktails on the trolley for the rest of the ride, okay? All right?
Okay, everybody, that's a joke. We're not going to take any booze.
You look athletic. Go long, buddy.
Whoa, wait.
Go for
no,
the
Johnny,
Keep going.
Don't throw them.
That was not supposed to happen, guys, all right?
And we need you guys to get out of here.
Listen.
I think we're in trouble.
It's a hot set. Let's go. Just get out.
He's new.
It's my first day on the job, and I'm already getting fired here.
So let's head back to the trolley. We have lots more to show him on the back lot.
If you look to your left, these look like real buildings, but they're actually not. They are movie sets.
We've used this area in Back to the Future. And tell them what they're made of.
They're made of styrofoam, plastic, and the tears of children.
That's not true.
Next stop is the prop warehouse, where you'll find 200,000 items under one roof. Only here could you find Charlize Theron's throne from Snow White and the Huntsman, an arsenal of weapons, and some creepy lifelike piglets.
Whenever guests on my tour get out of line, they say hello to my little friend.
But what kind of a VIP tour guide would I be if the guest didn't go home with a few souvenirs?
Follow me!
Wait, Johnny. Not the guns.
Okay, but they're good. They're good with their weapons.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, let me have this. Bring them on. You can't have the props. Said this already. Thank you. Yeah, the parking meter too. Oh, yep, I got it. Thank you. Okay, everybody back.
Next, we're off to the set from one of my favorite Hitchcock films.
We are now entering the scariest motel ever. The Bates Motel. Ooh, ah, the movie Psycho. That up on the hill is the house where Norman Bates lived. Norman, come here real quick. I got some friends I want to introduce you to. Swipe right, ladies. Swipe right. Norman, come on. Get on. Get on, Norman.
You know what? For a first day, Johnny did really well. There were a couple of bumps in the road, like maybe breaking the set in Superstore, but outside of that, really an A.
You guys are getting back on your tram for a ride home. I have a room booked at the Bates Motel tonight. Norman, what's for dinner?
At the end of the day, LA is in a constant state of perpetual motion, unless you're driving. But if you stop and look around long enough, you'll realize it's just a small town with big dreams.